Hi to everybody watching this. Good morning in Lubbock. Hope you're enjoying Justin's presentation, and I will tell you a little bit about myself. Um, I am Chico Harlan, and I work at the Washington Post. In Asia, for our newspaper, I have what you might call the everything but China job. Um, I've spent most of my time in South Korea and Japan over the last 4 years where I've had this position. But in that time, I've also covered a lot of ground and made it to, I think, every Southeast Asian country except for Brunei and East Timor. So that's a fascinating mix. The spectrum is so wide, and even on this little like Kansas-sized peninsula where I live, you have one of the world's most modern countries in South Korea, where you can literally watch TV on your smartphone in the subway, and then you have North Korea, where only a few thousand citizens, the lucky ones, can access the internet, and where hundreds of thousands of people live in political prison camps. So my job is, in short, to write about all this. I started my position in 2010, and since then I've covered the tsunami and the nuclear meltdowns in Japan, the rise of Kim Jong-un in North Korea, and then the most recent big one was the disappearance of flight MH370 from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Now I've had jobs that I didn't like, and I only say that so you believe me when I say that this job is really fun, endlessly interesting, and I've enjoyed my time here tremendously and found it to be rewarding professionally too. So I'll give you a few quick reasons why I like this job. One, I am a true believer in Asia as like the center of the world, and I know that everybody wherever they live sort of starts to feel that they are in the middle of the action. But a lot of the news attention is focused on the Middle East because that is where you have the most turmoil. But here you have two of the world's three largest economies. You have a half dozen of the most dynamic cities on Earth. You have militaries that are getting ever bigger, sometimes because of historical rivalries that go back centuries. And then lastly, people tend to have big dreams in Asia. Living conditions have been improving here for decades, and yeah, that's given rise to problems, but it also means there is ambition and lots of it, and those are the fun stories to write. Second reason I like this job is a little more practical. It's pretty safe, and I sometimes follow colleagues on Twitter. They're talking about bullets that are whizzing past their head, or car bombings outside of their apartments. And so what I face is nothing compared to my colleagues in Syria, in Baghdad, in Pakistan, and that makes me feel lucky. I mean, as part of being a post correspondent, everybody is fitted for bulletproof body armor, and mine has been sitting in my closet for the last 4 years gathering dust. So that makes me feel exceptionally fortunate to be stationed in the countries that I do spend most of my time. And then third, a little bit more practically, I have time to write the stories that I want to. There are crazy stretches of news where it's just bang, bang, bang for weeks on end. The MH370 story was one of them. But on the flip side, there are times when it's a little bit slower. And those are the times where I can spend weeks doing the stories that I want to do, going out on my own into the countryside in Japan to write about the aftermath of the tsunami, or spending time digging through paperwork to write about a North Korean spy that was falsely arrested in Seoul. Or more, I guess you could say frivolous but interesting stories. Like I wrote one about the coolness of school lunches in Japan and how different they are than what we're used to in the U.S. So I have a lot of freedom. My boss is 13 time zones away, and generally that's a good thing to have. As long as I don't mess up, I'm allowed to do as I like. So hopefully that gives you a little introduction about my job. I'll leave it to Justin to tell you the rest. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at Chico Harlan. And next time I'm in America, hope I can make it to Texas and maybe see you at a Robert Earl Keen concert.